Today, another great show today, y'all. It's uh it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure, Brother Demetrius Knucklezeal. It's my pleasure to once again revisit the brother that's breaking the internet right now. The brother that's breaking the internet right now, Katt Williams, and everything that he's going through just to expose the truth, and because he's exposing the truth. So it's with great pleasure I talk about this topic because, some people refer to this as gossip and talk about this ain't nothing but gossip and this type of thing. But I think that's what the entertainment industry wants so many of us to believe, that this ain't nothing but gossip. Meanwhile, crimes are taking place. What crimes? I think it's a crime to groom a little kid, SA a little kid, R a little kid. So what Kevin Hart what Kevin Hart is trying to defend himself against is when the brother Katt Williams talked about he sold his soul. He sold his soul. So when this brother Katt Williams began telling this truth and exposing this dark truth about Hollywood and all these entertainers, people began to run and hide, and some of them began to rear their head to try to defend themselves because they knew that the shoe that he was throwing out fit. And if the shoe fit, wear it. So some people was exposing themselves and he wasn't even naming them, but they were exposing themselves. But I just want to get into a little bit, and I'll take some questions or whatever, whoever want to come on and join me. If you real, we can talk about it. But there's some real stuff going on, y'all. I want to start off with saying that the title of this is Katt Williams delivering the truth. He's like the messenger of truth right now. And I think that personally, Katt Williams is the hottest thing out there right now in the entertainment industry amongst all actors, etc., because he is the one who's delivering the truth. He's the one delivering the truth, and he's standing on his truth. And he's saying, I know I'm blackballed from Hollywood. That's why I fund my own stuff. He's telling them that. And I understand it from that perspective. And one thing I know about America is America loves the comeback story. They love the underdog. They bet a lot of money on the underdog. And this brother right here, Katt Williams, is the underdog. He's facing the likes of Steve Harvey, who got the talk shows and all this other stuff. He's in certain people's pocket and certain people in his pocket. He got Ludacris, the rapper Ludacris. Ludacris made a name for himself in the music and now in the movies. He got Tiffany Haddish. He got Kevin Hart. He got P. Diddy. He got so many people, and I would say he got so many people that's against him right now. So many people, so many big name people that's against him. But what I'm proud of is all of the people who are not so big name. Some people who say they have not sold their souls, they're standing with him. They're standing with him. You have the likes of, first of all, let me just say this here. Again, this show right here is not about the entertainment as it is about how they develop criminals. And what I mean by criminals, I'm talking about the predators. They develop and they breed predators. They breed people who are individuals. This is what the entertainment industry is breeding right now. And who is the targets that they're breeding these predators against? And I'm not saying that that white kids are not being targeted. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about in the rooms that Katt Williams have been in. It has been made up of people that look like us. And so you get people like Trick Daddy, for example. Trick Daddy, he get on his little social media platform and he talking about, why is Katt Williams only talking about the black people? Why is he only talking about us? Maybe that's because he only been around us, and that's where he's seeing all this stuff being exposed by is us, and that's who's selling their souls that he see is us. So therefore, he gonna talk about what he see. I can't talk about something I haven't seen. If I have not been in a room with these other people from whatever ethnic group they are from, if I have not been in a room with them to see how they operate, then I cannot attest to how they operate. Trick. Y'all know who Trick is? Trick is the brother out of Detroit. I brought up his name because Trick Daddy is from Atlanta, Miami, wherever he's from. Trick is from Detroit. And when Trick Daddy Dollars came to Detroit, the brother Trick, if you know anything about that story, he didn't call himself that when he came to Detroit, because there's only one Trick in Detroit. That's Trick. Now, I'm saying that to say this here. Some people huff and puff. Some people huff and puff for no reason. Some people try to stand on morals and principles that they do not, that they're not founded on. And so some people make up these stories to keep their name out there. And I'm not talking about no individual person. I'm talking about individuals in general, because this matter that Katt Williams has been discussing has been very revealing. I know Trick went to Miami first. We always go down there first. That's how we introduce them to come up here. I know it, but I've been there before, brother. And I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying I've been there before. I'm familiar. I go all the way back to the 80s. So anyway, so what Katt Williams is doing, Katt Williams is not just bringing entertainment, real comedy back. That's not to say it's not other real comics out there. But I'm saying he's not only trying to bring real comedy back, but he's trying to forewarn us so we don't send our children into these lion dens and into these snake pits with these snakes so they can be chewed up. He's telling us, he's exposing the industry to us. And he's not the only one. It's been years of people trying to expose this truth to us, but we know the powers that be, it wasn't catching a lot of media attention because the powers that be really own the media as well. And the media is who create the narrative, right? So back in the days when the little brother Orlando Brown, back in the days when the Sister Monique, y'all remember Sister Monique when she got into it with Lee Daniels, who's behind Color Purple, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey. She got into it with all these people, these power players. And then she ended up going on Steve Harvey's show and she told him to his face. She said, powerful people stood in front of me, blackballed me. Powerful people like Oprah, Tyler, Lee Daniels. And she said, she talking to Steve Harvey at the very time. She said, even my brother, Steve Harvey, no one would stand up for me when they knew I was right. She told Steve Harvey to his face that he turned his back on her, even when he knew she was right. It was said that he told her behind closed doors that you're right. I'm with you. Sister, I'm with you. But soon as he got in front of cameras, he threw her under the bus. Why is that? This is what's they're talking about, the gatekeepers. And notice that every time Katt Williams brought up the gatekeepers, somebody else, only one of us come out the woodwork and say, I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm not a gatekeeper. No disrespect to nobody when I say this, but that's like calling a white person a racist. Woo-wee! That hit a nerve. Those who are racist gonna jump up and say, I'm not a racist. I got a black friend who lives right next door to me. Listen, that's what happened when Katt Williams talked about the gatekeepers, those who keep the gates, those who keep the gates open and close the gates to others. He talked about Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart was the gatekeeper who let Tiffany Haddish in, got her into the swing of the movies and that type of stuff, right? She bypassed over 50 other women, established comedians who have done many shows, bypassed them right on the way, and she got on the big stage. And so now she's one of the gatekeepers, according to Katt Williams. She's one of the gatekeepers. Steve Harvey is one of the gatekeepers. It's like they hold the keys. It's like in slavery, they would call them the house boys or the house girls. These are the ones that tell everything to master. These are the eyes and ears for master. It's the house boy or the house girl. These are the master's eyes and ears. And this is what Katt Williams is talking about. So many brothers and sisters who sell their soul in the entertainment industry, they sell their soul and they become the eyes and ears for the master. They become the plants, industry plants for the master. Notice how, for example, a few years back, Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears, they were being sued for some type of child grooming and SAing a little boy. It was said that the little boy, he was 7 years old, his sister was 14, they was grooming them. And then Tiffany Haddish, she came out in an interview and said, no, I apologize. It was about a movie script. I apologize for the offense taken by having these children involved in this movie script like this. I apologize. And, but that was the movie script. Whatever happened to the allegation of the little boy who said he was SA'd? What happened to that part? And so therefore, the rumors that Tiffany Haddish was a industry plant by the powers that be, therefore that begins to ride her back. Because not only did she come from up under that, but she came from up under that in no time, just a couple weeks. The lawsuit was dismissed and nothing else was said about it. And she just resumed her role in Hollywood. This is what Katt Williams is talking about. The gatekeepers. Those who, under any other circumstances, will be put up under the jail and stuff like that. But for whatever reason, they make it out unscathed. And so now people began to respond to Katt Williams. You had Steve Harvey responded to Katt Williams. But what's missing from Steve Harvey's retort is a denial that anything Katt Williams is saying is untrue. He never once said that Katt Williams lied. He never gave an example in support of himself to show that Katt Williams lied. He never gave, oh man, my main man. He never gave an example. So now Steve Harvey, he has not defended himself against the allegations made by Katt Williams, confirmed by Monique. Not just Monique. Did y'all hear the interview with Bernie Mac when Bernie Mac was talking about, he was doing an interview and he said, as a comedian, a well-established comedian, you have to protect your jokes from other comedians because they will steal them. They will steal your jokes. Come on in, man. Send an invite. Oh, I got you. I see you. I got you. Here you come now. So now you have Bernie Mac himself said that he has to protect his art from other comedians because they like to steal people's jokes. Ain't that what Katt Williams said Steve Harvey was doing with Bernie Mac? Ain't that what other people said Steve Harvey was doing with Bernie Mac? And then on top of that, the DJ, the world famous DJ Ed Lover confirmed everything Katt Williams said. When Katt Williams was talking about Steve Harvey was stealing Bernie Mac's jokes. Steve Harvey stole the entire persona, the whole idea and vision of Mark Curry's show, Hanging with Mr. Cooper. What's up, man?
You know, my thing is, how come when Tiny said it, you know what I'm saying? Remember when Tiny Lister said it, and why the interview that he had where he was talking about he fell off and wasn't doing those shows because he refused to put on a dress. You know what I mean? And he spoke on this stuff. And how come nobody went at Tiny like that?
Because Tiny wasn't established, right? It's like this here. It's like this here. A bully will beat up somebody that's small, scrawny, and can't fight, right? But the egotistical like to try to challenge people to break down people who they think or who appear to be a threat to them, right? And so in a situation like when Tiny was talking about he ain't putting on no dress, people never said anything because they would never regarded him as a threat. But if he had any indication in his character that he could have threatened their celebrity status, such as Katt Williams is doing, they would have came at him. But he was like an afterthought in the movie, the real talk. He was like an afterthought in the movie, Tiny. So, you know, like dude said, Red Fox had said it, right? Yeah.
Red Fox had said it, like the comment just said. So it's how come it's been said? Wesley Snipes was talking about it. It's been said, but now that Katt Williams put it out there, like you said, because Katt's the threat, you know, and really Katt got dirt on everybody. It's almost like Katt has been sitting back putting dirt in his little treasure box.
He told you in the interview, he told you why. Because all these other dudes are people that got paid by Hollywood. That's
right.
Why they had to do this and had to do that.
Right.
They did. Dave Chappelle.
See?
Gone. He crazy. This one, he gone. He crazy. Katt Williams was the only one that owns all his stuff that doesn't have no kind of ties with anybody in Hollywood.
None.
And he's able to do this because nobody can come back and take anything from him.
So look at it this way. Look at it this way. When you got a man who's standing on his own feet, right?
Yeah.
Standing on his own feet. Imagine this. I'm standing on my own feet fighting to get ahead, right? And you standing on somebody else's shoulders fighting, right? Who's more imbalanced, me or you? You more imbalanced because you standing on somebody's shoulders. All I got to do is push him and both of y'all fall, or push you and you fall, right? But I'm standing on my own 2 feet. I'm grounded. I don't owe nobody. I don't owe nobody. I paid for this. I got receipts for this. I can say what I want to say, how and when I want to say it. It's either you're going to put me on your TV show or you not. Either way, it's going to get produced because I pay for my own way. So they don't like that about Katt Williams. And
because they can't control it.
They
So
can.
let me ask you this. You think Katt Williams was really smoking dope, or you think that was something that they were just throwing out there again to slander his character?
Katt Williams has never admitted to using drugs, right? Now, we probably know he used weed, but we talking about how they tried to make him look like a drug addict, right?
Right, like he was out of his mind.
Yeah.
Same thing they did with Martin Lawrence.
And yeah, and then they show pictures of Katt Williams, and he looked drugged up and drugged out. Right. Those are the pictures, images of Katt Williams that they feed to the public because the media controls the narrative. And who controls the media? The people behind the scenes who own these movie sets and all of that. So they don't want people to believe Katt. They want people to think of Katt as some bum on the street. He's just a bum. We tried to look out for him. He was hard to work with. We kicked him on to the side. Right. That's what y'all did to Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown, now he's crazy. Lamar Odom, he's crazy. Lamar Odom dating a transvestite right now. How? Why? When? Dennis Rodman, he went crazy, started having engaged in the stuff he was doing. How? When? So when you go to talking about Al B. Shore sitting in the hospital right now, again, Kim Porter gone. So when you go to talking about Monique, she crazy too. Don't nobody want to work with her. So when you go to going down that list of people that the media has deemed as crazy, and you look at the backstory, or you look at the story that we now hearing that's being exposed, now it all makes sense. So you take, for example, how I just said Trick Daddy. Trick Daddy come out and say, well, why would Katt Williams, why is he talking about all black people and blah, 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 blah? Because if I only live on a black block, who the hell else am I going to talk about? Am I not supposed to talk about it because they black, but they raping children, they molesting children, so I ain't supposed to talk about them, huh?
Well, I could tell you this, and I would say to Trick's face, I was incarcerated with Trick, and Trick was after them boys.
All the time.
That's all he was on. That's all the time he was on was after them boys. So again, you know, anything that Trick says, I know is for entertainment purposes. Again, you know what I mean? So it's like it gets to a point to where
It don't matter what you got. You need to answer that question and the thing too.
it gets to a point to where you can't even believe what a human being says anymore because their word, their honesty, their truth can be bought for $1.
And so if their truth and their honesty can be bought for $1, this is why Katt Williams say, I turned down $50 million 4 times. He say because he was just saying because first of all, he want to protect that sacred hole of his. Remember he said that. He want to protect that sacred hole. So he's saying, had I accepted this money, now I got to give up that hole. And he said that other guys, and he mentioned Ludacris, he said they wanted us to cut our sideburns. There was 2 of us. I refused to cut mine, and the other guy didn't cut his, and he ended up on Fast and Furious with a $200 million contract for 10 movies for Fast and Furious. And by the way, let me just mention this. Ludacris responded with a rap. I think you got to come back on, Tom. Ludacris responded with a rap, a diss rap against Katt Williams. Oh, man, Ludacris, I love you, brother, but that was whack. That was whack. And Katt Williams, I love you, man. You ain't no rapper, but you chewed Ludacris up. He chewed Ludacris up, man. Sometimes you got to do what some of these other people are doing out here and just hide. Hide your head. Hopefully Katt Williams don't swing at you because everybody that he swung at has not been able to defend themselves with receipts to disprove anything Katt Williams has said thus far.
That's like when your homeboy Eminem came through and started pulling people's cars. They couldn't touch him.
They could not touch him.
Everybody just wanted to stay out of his way, man. I just hope that M just leaves me alone because I can't touch him.
And that's what some of these people are doing right now. It's a lot. He know a lot. My man know a lot, right? You take Kevin Hart, for example. Kevin Hart responded, but Kevin Hart responded comedically, right? Comedically. And Kevin Hart was on at the Lakers game, I think the first or second night that the show aired, and Kevin Hart was joking about Katt Williams because he wanted to keep it in a comedy arena because he know Katt Williams know the secrets. And the secret is already out that Kevin Hart and Diddy was real close. The secret is already out. And the secret is already out that if you accept large sums of money in Hollywood, usually you are now inducted into that secret society. Something like these gangs do. When you want to get in the gang, you got to be jumped in. You want to get in the motorcycle gang, a female want to get in the motorcycle gang, we know what time it is. Same thing in these larger organizations that's worth billions. You got to give up something. And so, it's just...
Well, I mean, that's just like you had a comment earlier where it said that Martin Lawrence admitted to him speaking on the OE, right? But did he though? You know what I mean? And because after he admitted to this, his career got back on track. So the thing of it is did he really admit it, or did he really just do what he had to do to get his career back on track? You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's like, we know what Hollywood is. We know what it is, but yet we still go to the movies. We still buy the tickets. We still watch the shows. We still buy the books. You know what I'm saying? So what is all, because to me, I heard you talking about it being gossip earlier. To me, this whole thing is nothing but gossip because ain't nobody gonna do a damn thing about it.
See, I was making the argument that I was making, that some people would refer to this as gossip, right?
Yeah.
But some people will look at this and say, wow, this is what the big wigs want us to look at it as gossip, while they are-ing little boys, while they grooming and are little boys and essaying little boys and girls. So what I'm saying is that as much gossip as this gossip is like some of the rappers and singers who in their lyrics, they talking about real life crimes that they done committed. It's just in entertainment form, but it's still a crime that took place if you do the research. So when R. Kelly was talking about trapped in the closet, and Michael Jackson was talking about whatever he was talking about, and Pink Floyd was talking about whatever he was talking about, and then you look back at some of their history and you say, wow, they was talking about some real stuff, some crimes that was actually taking place. So I'm thinking that Katt Williams is exposing how these people are getting away with crimes. He's exposing how people like Diddy, these type of individuals are being created. People like Kevin Hart, how Kevin Hart, Steve Harvey, how they are becoming the gatekeepers to protect the secrets of what's going on back here. TD Jakes was never a gatekeeper, but he was invited into that sacred realm of adultery and whatever else went on there, right? So I'm saying that Katt Williams is exposing a criminal underworld that lives right underneath our nose, and we watching it every single day on TV.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. But how do we support Katt Williams? Right? How do we stand behind a Katt Williams as we the people?
I think that we stand behind Katt Williams as we the people by doing what the internet has done over the last 2 or 3 weeks involving Katt Williams. He broke the internet. He broke every record on the internet. Well, most every record, right? Keep supporting what he's saying. Keep supporting what he's saying, because the powers that be is going to start kicking some people out and sacrificing some people, because they're going to say, P. Diddy, you messed up when you put your hands on Cassie. We can't have you within our circle anymore. Anybody who got allegations like this, we about to throw out to the wolves, because we got to protect our secret society. So when people support Katt Williams, people are supporting the integrity of real acting, the integrity of real comedy. And we're saying no to those comedians who are selling their souls. And when they sell their souls, we know they'll get involved with grooming children. If you sell your soul, you'll groom a child.
Well, yeah, absolutely. That's what selling your soul is, you know.
So
and what people negate to even consider is even just turning a blind eye to it. You just knowing that it's going on, and you just turn a blind eye to it and get paid up under the table for turning a blind eye. You're just as guilty.
Just as guilty, man.
In the room with them.
I mean, you can't make a distinction between a person that sits back and watches this grooming, that sit back and watch the gatekeeping. They are just as guilty as the primary people who are committing these life-altering situations for some young people. They are just as guilty for that young man, driving that young man to drugs and alcohol. You remember the movie Training Day?
Yeah.
So we seen how Denzel played this role, and he was sprinkling, what was it, angel dust or something into Jake's stuff, slowly getting that man delirious. So now he could always point and say, this man got drugs in his system. But he the one put it in his system. That's how he know he got drugs in his system, because he confident in what he put in his drink. This is what the industry does to Whitney Houston's and Mariah Carey's and all these other people. They putting drugs in their stuff. It's a brother named Matt Hoffa. He be on a podcast. I forgot what it's called, but he was telling a story about how they're drug people coming into the entertainment industry. They'll drug them, and then they'll drug them while they out. They have 3-4 guys running up in them, and then when it's time to come to the table to make a deal and sign that contract, and he told me he don't want to sign it because it ain't enough, they show him them pictures and that video of him getting rammed by these people, whether it's male or female, getting rammed by these people, and it appears that you was actively involved. It was consensual. And so do you want to sign the contract, yes or no? And the person say, I just signed the contract then. I just signed the contract. Blackmail, man. That's a crime, right?
Of course, yeah, hell yeah. That's entrapment, that's blackmail, that's extortion, that's the whole nine.
So now what Katt Williams is talking about, he's talking about criminal activity. He's talking about a criminal underworld taking on the disguise as entertainment.
And see, I was in Miami FCI. I wrapped my sentence up at Miami FCI when Lou Pearlman showed up there. Lou Pearlman was the Jew guy that founded NSYNC, the Backstreet Boys. And what he was doing was molesting them kids, man. And he was extorting them into making them feel like they had to do the things that they were doing to keep their contracts, to keep things going. Because again, like my whole podcast is about, that America is about status. The most important thing that in an American citizen's guys, is status. We are indoctrinated to believe that status is more important than anything else, to the point to where if we don't have any kind of status, we'll kill ourselves.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So it's understanding that status is paramount in America. And you'll do anything for that status if you fall into that indoctrination. Be it take a cucumber up, you know what I'm saying, or whatever it is. You'll do whatever you got to do in the privacy of a room, because you done been tricked thinking that, oh man, it's just gonna stay in this room right here, this between us. You do this right here, and the sky's the limit for you. I'll make you this, I'll make you that. So I mean, we see it on TikTok where these people ask questions. Would you do this for $10 million? And
Yeah.
like, hell yeah, I'd do it for 50,000.
Yep.
I'm like, damn.
So it's kind of like what I was telling someone a few weeks ago about when you find someone, if you find someone who has no secrets, don't trust them. Why? Because a person without a secret means that they done told everything they ever knew. And that's the type of person that you can never trust. A person that can't hold a secret. Because this means they told everything they ever knew. And so now this goes back to the secret society, to where once the secret is out that you couldn't contain this information. And perfect example is just being Diddy. You had to allow your emotions to take over you because you wanted all these women, and you putting your hand on women, and it got out. You couldn't contain the secret. You can't be trusted now. So now Diddy is wherever he at right now, and none of the people, not one of the people who ever once publicly supported Diddy has come to support Diddy. Because most of the people back there who was supporting Diddy is a part of that society. And they saying, man, we're not going to allow you to, make us look bad. People already think we exist, but they can't put their finger on it.
Right.
We're not going to allow you to bring them to us, because if we allow you back in, you're going to bring some cameras with you. You're going to bring some flies with you, the flies on the wall.
Bring the heat to the block, kid.
We can't have you back, Diddy. You might as well be a woman now, Diddy.
You're making the block hot.
So I'm saying, so this is why they don't like Katt Williams, because he bringing the type of heat that there has been nobody who is bringing the heat like Katt Williams. Monique did it, but not like Katt Williams. She put Oprah Winfrey on blast, Tyler Perry on blast, Lee Daniels on blast, Steve Harvey on blast, but she didn't do it like Katt Williams. Orlando Brown, who they got so highly medicated that they regarded him as crazy. He put Diddy on blast right away when he said Diddy gave him the oosh gosh goosh. And then he'll go off into some type of tandem that you can't understand, incomprehensible stuff. So it has been a few people who put some people on blast, man, but none like Katt Williams. And this is what they wasn't prepared for. And this is why Katt Williams then broke the internet and all that type of stuff with the truth, not just stories. He broke with receipts. He broke it with receipts, man. And I applaud that type of stuff, because we need somebody to step up and save some of these little boys and little girls that's aspiring to be big name actors and actresses, aspiring to be comedians. We needed somebody to step up and just help prepare them.
But we just need to see some of these people, man, step up and defend the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what we as a society really needs to see, is that the truth is still relevant. there's still honor in the truth. You know what I mean? And that the truth has to be spoke.
That's crazy that you say that though, man. You said that we need some people to step up to let the people know that the truth is still relevant. That's a hell of a statement, man. Because the truth has become so irrelevant, man. Don't nobody even care about the truth. They said that in politics. Listen, and you done been in that courtroom like me. They said it ain't about what's true, it's about who's more convincing. So it ain't about the truth no more. That becomes irrelevant.
Right. It's not about what you know, it's what you can prove.
It ain't, that's right. It ain't what you know, it's what you can prove. And that's sad, man. That's sad because
with that type of mentality, this is where you get these prosecutors and such to start hiding evidence, because it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. You may know that your husband's innocent, but you can't prove it. I can prove he's guilty because I'm hiding evidence.
And hold on, somebody else just tried to chime in, and that's a great point, is that, to say that I can prove he's guilty. Why can I prove he's guilty? Because I'm hiding evidence. That kind of reminds me and takes me to the story of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. It makes me think about them because I remember Donald Trump. He kept saying, they rigged the election. Look, they rigged the election. They rigged the election. And everybody looked that way, and the election was rigged back here. But he got everybody to look that way. So the person who usually is able to prove that someone did something is usually the one hiding something.
Absolutely.
And that's why they could prove that you did it, because they hiding the stuff showing that you didn't do it.
Absolutely. That's the same thing when the banks will come out and say, oh, we just 100,000 of our accounts just got hacked for $50 million. It was some Chinese foreign. And that's Bank of America.
Right.
Because if you follow the stocks, this stuff always happens when there's some kind of movement going on in the stock market. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, a whole bunch of accounts get hacked. Money gets lost. Because it don't matter. At the end of the day, we sit back and say, well, you know, we're covered federally. We'll get our money back. We don't even think about it. But meanwhile, Bank of America just took all this money and just threw this into this is anytime we get hacked, you know, it's the people that's doing it. Microsoft hacks your account.
Right.
Google hacks your account. Man, these people want all our information. They want to know where we're at, what we're doing, who we are, what we're spending our money on, all that stuff, man. That's funny because
I remember I was on my computer one day, and I seen a cursor on my computer. I'm like, what the hell is that? So then a message came across my computer saying that you have a virus, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Call this number, right? I didn't know no better. I calls the number. And the guy that I'm talking to is the guy whose cursor is on my computer. He done hacked into my computer, right? He's telling me how I need protection on my computer. And if I would forward him this amount of money, he would make sure that he implement this certain protection on my computer. Come on, man. You the one hacking my computer.
Right. It's all these corporations, all they're doing is the same shit we used to do in the hood as kids, man. You know what I mean? It's crime just compounded on what we used to do. You know, and it's you know, if you were a jack boy, you know, you would find your target, and you would find a way to get into your target, whether it was you became his friend, you know what I mean? Or you sent some beautiful woman at him who would unlock the door in the middle of the night, you know what I mean? It's whatever you had to do to get that person's stuff, because that's what you wanted. And these corporate entities do the same thing with us. They do whatever they can to get our money. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, you're being marketed to for your money.
Absolutely.
This is why they get mad when we ain't working. This is why you got Kim Kardashian out here talking about, oh, people don't want to work. Because because she ain't gonna work, and she expects us to work for her.
And oh man, look, Kim Kardashian, yeah, I was gonna talk about her one time.
From the moment we wake up, when we turn on our radios, we turn on our TVs, we are being marketed to from these large corporate entities.
It's funny. I was on TikTok just a minute ago, live on TikTok, and TikTok literally just cut off my TikTok, and they said that some about, let me read it. This is what TikTok just sent me. They cut my TikTok off. My TikTok was about Katt Williams, and me and my friend was talking about how from the moment that we wake up, we're being marketed by the powers that be. We're being marketed. Our information is being taken, utilized, abused, and that type of thing. And so TikTok canceled my TikTok live. They said your access to go live and multi-guest will be restored on January 25th. Your access to mobile gaming will be restored on January 25th. It says misinformation. It says the violation reasons is misinformation. In a global community, it is natural for people to have different opinions, but we seek to operate on a shared set of facts and reality. We do not allow inaccurate, misleading, or false content that may cause significant harm to individuals or society, regardless of intent. Significant harm includes physical, psychological, or societal harm and property damage. Visit our community guidelines for more information. Oh, man. TikTok then banned me. TikTok then banned me. You know what I say about that? I ain't gonna be censored. I ain't gonna be censored. I'm not gonna be censored at all. I'm gonna speak my mind because I'm gonna speak the truth. I'm gonna help people, and I'm gonna do what I can to help anyone who also want to help people. And that's what my goal is behind my show, is to help people. So despite what TikTok may feel or whoever may feel, my goal in life is to help people because I know how it feels to not be helped. And so I'm here. We was talking about Katt Williams. We was talking about how Katt Williams is really exposing criminal activity that's taking place in Hollywood. Because in these secret societies, they protect these secret societies with gatekeepers and so many layers of security, while child grooming, child neglect, child abandonment, child endangerment, essaying and R-ing little children is going on. Essaying and R-ing grown men and women is going on. And so I was saying that that's what Katt Williams is really talking about, in my opinion. That's what I'm hearing him say now that we're seeing a lot of the things that's being exposed from the Diddy end. A lot of that that's being exposed from the Diddy end. We're learning now. If you think about what Katt Williams is saying, for example, Katt Williams say he turned down $50 million 4 times. He turned it down because he did not want to sell his soul. He had to protect his sacred hole that he said, that little sacred hole. He wanted to protect that. And he said, just like this, he said, and Diddy liked to party. And I have to say, no. That's what he said. So he had all that in the same sentence. And so now Katt Williams is equating getting a lot of millions of dollars with being a part of some type of secret society, and saying that you sell your soul. People that's getting all this money end up selling their soul. That's how they got the money. And so it's just my opinion that when he say that type of stuff, he's really talking about people are selling their souls to a society that's grooming little boys and little girls, that's essaying little boys and little girls. That's what I'm hearing him say. So I'm hearing him talk about crimes, that's criminal minds that's being developed to commit crimes against men, women, and children, ultimately society. That's what I'm hearing him say. So, I'm not going to hold y'all up too much longer, but it was just interesting how TikTok just canceled my live right there while I was on live. They just canceled it just like that and made their statement and saying whatever they said. It's all good. It's all good. But I'm going to say peace and love to those within the sound of my voice, and for those who cannot hear the sound of my voice, I say pass along the message, because someone needs to be inspired.